Imagine if Jamaicans spoke the languages of their African ancestors. If these had been preserved and widely spoken across the island, the cultural and social dynamics of the island might look vastly different. Imagine walking through the bustling streets of Kingston, hearing the lyrical intonation of Twi, Yoruba, and Igbo mingling with the hum of daily life. What would it mean for Jamaicans to carry these languages into the present? Could this linguistic heritage have further solidified their connection to Africa and shaped their identity in ways that transcend colonial histories? The enslaved Africans brought to Jamaica were mainly from the Akan. There were also Yoruba, Igbo ethnic groups, among others. These groups had rich linguistic traditions, complete with oral histories, intricate proverbs, and expressions deeply tied to their worldviews. Yet, under the brutal system of slavery, these languages were suppressed. The plantation system demanded that enslaved people communicate in the language of their oppressors, which was English. Over time, fragments of African languages blended with English, birthing Jamaican Patois, a Creole language that in itself is a testament to the survival and adaptation of our people. However, this shift raises critical questions. What cultural insights were lost when the Akan stopped speaking Twi, or when the Yoruba prayers were replaced with English hymns? How might Jamaican spirituality, music, and storytelling have evolved differently if African languages have been retained as primary modes of expression? What do you think? Tell us in the comments. Of course, we love a Jamaican patois. It is a living, breathing representation of African linguistic influence from tonal qualities to vocabulary. Yet it is mainly an English based language shaped by the harsh realities of colonialism. What if, instead of becoming a Creole, Patois coexisted alongside African languages, such as Akan Yoruba Twi, as full fledged, widely spoken tongues? Imagine a Jamaica where children learn English for global communication, Patois as the national official language, and Twi or Yuba or Akan as a bridge to their ancestral past. The multilingual identity could transform how Jamaicans see themselves, not as products of a colonial past, but as heirs to African civilization with deep, enduring roots. Festivals, religious ceremonies, and even political discourse might carry a linguistic richness that ties the present directly to the African continent. Now, why didn't it happen? The suppression of African languages in Jamaica was not accidental. It was a deliberate act of control. Language binds community, and enslavers recognized that allowing Africans to speak their native tongues could only foster unity and rebellion. By forcing English upon the enslaved, they fractured the linguistic connections that might have united diverse African groups against them. Additionally, the sheer diversity of African peoples brought to Jamaica, the Caribbean, played a role. Akan, Yoruba, Igbo, and other languages were distinct, so but mainly though we did have like more Akan people, so it would have been more possible than not, right? Without a unifying African language, Patois emerged as a practical solution, a linguistic melting pot where survival trumped purity. Now, could a revival of African languages in Jamaica even be possible? There are some precedents. Indigenous languages like Hawaiian and Mara have been seen revitalization efforts that reintegrate them into everyday life. A similar movement in Jamaica could involve teaching African languages in schools or incorporating them into cultural practices and media. This would not mean replacing patois English, but enriching Jamaica's linguistic tapestry. Such a renaissance would be more than linguistic. It would be a reclaim. Such a renaissance would be more than linguistic. It would be Jamaicans reclaiming their identity of their ancestors. African languages carry ways of thinking, philosophies, and cultural norms embedded within their structures. Speaking Yoruba or Twi isn't just about words, it's about worldview. What would it mean for Jamaicans to see themselves through an Akan lens, or to understand the world with Yoruba concepts of divinity and community. Yet, Jamaican culture is not solely African. Before the arrival of Europeans, the Taino people spoke an African language that represented Jamaica, the land of wood and water. Like African languages, Taino was nearly erased, though traces of it remain in place names and a few everyday words. If African languages represent a path Jamaicans may have taken, Tainos represent a past erased before it could merge with the African identity. What could a trilingual Jamaica fluent in Taino, African languages, and English have looked like? Now, to conclude, language is more than communication. It is identity, history, and power. While Jamaicans have forged a unique identity through patois, revisiting the African languages of their ancestors offers an opportunity for deeper connection and self awareness. It invites critical questions. How much of who we are is shaped by what we speak? What might we reclaim if we dare to speak the languages of our ancestors? In contemplating these questions, we not only honor the past, but also imagine a future where Jamaicans reclaim their rightful place as heroes to multiple rich linguistic and cultural traditions. The question isn't just about what was lost, it could also be about what could still be found. Alright, guys, so that's it. Tell us what you think in the comments. What are your thoughts on this? We're looking forward to it.